And welcome to the second episode of the AV Club. If we sound weird for any reason, it's because we have cough drops.
We're going to be marginally less nerdaloid in this podcast, hopefully.
It's not a podcast, it's the AV Club. It's a spin-off of the podcast. But
same shit.
It is, but we only talk about one subject, see?
Oh, gosh.
Now, what the
Now Cricket's just kicking microphones. Any which way.
Your mother was a hamster.
Your mother was a snowblower.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. Which ties in with the episode, which has a French guy in it.
It does have a French guy. So, we're here to speak about the AV Club. Yeah, we're here to speak about The Boys, episode 2. Which was awesome.
Quite the explosive episode.
Today, I am Fearless Hobo.
I am Cosmonaut, a guy.
I'm Cricket.
And we also have our special guest today.
Minor
Casey, our junior editor in training.
For Kentucky Chicken.
Yeah, congratulations, you're in this.
Cricket can calculate.
Kentucky. You are a Kentucky Fried Chicken man.
It's not KFC, it's just KC.
No, but KC could just be Kentucky Chicken.
Kentucky Chicken.
But he has
No,
noodles.
Any which way. Any
No,
which way.
he has He has
Moving
grilled
on.
chicken from Kentucky.
This is not the podcast. The podcast we can bullshit. This is the AV Club.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about Boys episode 2. Now, this one's going to be a little different from the first one because we didn't even get the episode out and it was friggin' straight up copywritten. Don't know how the first episode was copywritten before even going up.
Must have been some algorithm bullshit.
But here's the thing. You can search the clips that we use on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's just we got cleaner clips. And then we still put a filter over them. We mute them. They have no volume. So the green screen's going to have to stay over it. So we'll just have a little rotten screen over our videos for this, I guess.
Yeah.
Cause
I think I have a cape or something. I'll just put one of us have a cape behind us or something. There we go. Just have that on the screen.
I'll put one of our heads.
Give Minor a cape and put him in the screen.
Any which way.
Can
We're
I
gonna
make a minor comment about the boys?
A minor comment.
No.
That's what we should make a video series, and it's just Minor commenting on thing, and they're each
Minor
like just
comment.
they're just like 3 minutes long, and he that's how he reviews video games and movies and shit. He just
just like
there's
one
my
sentence.
minor comment.
It's just one
Alright,
sentence.
so-
Oh yeah, going on.
I think it's Girls' Generation, the K-pop band it's Girls' Generation, has a song called The Boys, and whenever we talk about The Boys, I just think of the opening of that song, where it's, The Boys, The Boys, The Boys, and that's the stupidest thing. That's all I can think of. I was just sitting here thinking about that stupid K-pop song.
So yeah, think of that song playing on the radio when they're, as we had last left our heroes, loading.
Heroes? Are you sure they're heroes? Because I don't know.
I don't know.
They're renegades. I'd call them renegades.
anti-heroes.
Yeah. So
When we
Billy
last
Butcher and
left
Huey.
They were putting Translucent Man into their trunk.
Yeah, they put Translucent into the trunk. They drove back. They met a new character called Frenchie.
Yep.
Weapon trader. By like...
An anti-soup weapon trainer, I take it? I think that's kind of his thing.
He told Huey, though, in another scene, that he doesn't really specify killing soups. Like, the amount of soups he's killed can be counted on one hand. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest can only be incapacitated or beaten. Like, that's it. They can't die.
Yeah.
So it...
Or he just hasn't figured out how yet.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to. He figures out. I mean, like I said, this one's going to be a lot shorter.
His big mistake was that he tried to buy clothes at the soup store.
You know, funnily enough, it still has to do with the AV Club, but it doesn't have much to do with the AV Club, I meant. There is an actual clothing store in New York called the Soup Store. So that's a real thing.
Yes!
And I swear we're probably going to visit New York at one time and just scream at each other, "Why are you buying clothes at the Soup Store? Go!" We're going to get kicked out of that store so hard.
I'm sure we're probably wouldn't be the first people.
Oh, definitely. No, there's definitely, like, they're
After
probably
going
looking at
Code
trying to
Geass cosplay.
rename the whole thing. Like, they're going to change it to be, like, Sup Store or something off.
So, real quick, we move on from them meeting Frenchie. And they're like, "Oh, we got a present for you. Do you want to know what the job is?" He tells Billy to fuck off. Billy's just like, "No, like, come outside." They go outside, they open up the trunk, and Translucent's like, do you know who I fucking am? And he's like looking all around, like where the voice is coming from. Then Billy just freaking cattle prods Translucent.
It won't kill him, it just hurts.
It just really hurts because he
It's
has
got a
like
natural-
diamond skin.
It's a natural Faraday cage.
So they close the trunk, and he's just like, oh my god, they're gonna send Homelander here. He's chipped. He's got a chip inside of him. They are going to find him.
Honestly, with somebody like him around, you want him chipped.
Well, they did say that he goes on like week-long benders.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't come back. So that's why he has a chip in him. And plus, he's invisible, so how the fuck are they supposed to actually find him? I bet all the 7 are chipped, though.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
But it's weird, we haven't seen Starlight get chipped.
Wouldn't it be?
Maybe it's in her
Wouldn't it be
costume.
6 now?
Maybe. Who knows?
Oh no, she joined and then he's dead.
God damn it!
Well, well,
It was 8.
They were the 7, now they're the 7.
The Octagon.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean, why didn't they? Why wouldn't she join? They were still the 7. They
I think it's the idea. Like, the
Okay,
Justice League, even though the Justice League has expanded to be almost all of the heroes, there's still just that core group that meet up, and then like they determine what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why. Because the 7 actually make the decisions of their group, but it's like they have other superheroes that work with them. Like, they had the other superheroes. Like, Doppelganger is in this episode. Doppelganger is
Shapeshifter.
part of their group. He's just not part of the core, like, star people.
He doesn't have the sort of positive stage presence that they look for.
He is a fat blob, and I love that. He's just
Yeah, I
a fat
know.
guy.
He's a fat guy who can shapeshift into anything.
Yeah,
Now,
so,
why would he actually work out when he can just shapeshift himself attractive?
I mean, he was a bartender, right? That's who he was pretending to be for,
Yeah, the
for the
bartender lady.
Which we should probably get to...
Yeah, we're going to. It's just, this one's going to be
Yeah,
here
all
and there.
over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah. So, they put Translucent inside of electric cage, hooked up to batteries.
So he pisses on it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's towards the end.
Yeah, bro.
And this whole time, the Vaunt is trying to find where he is. They're like, where the hell is he? Like, what's going on? And they're just, Homelander goes and meets with,
The lady.
oh, Sarah? It begins with an S.
I don't remember the character.
Sharon,
She's
maybe?
Like the leader lady.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I said her name earlier. It's like
Black
Sarah or
bitch.
Sharon. Yeah. The Vaunt bitch. She actually is like, oh no, don't worry about it, Homelander. We'll send security. He's like, but why? Like, I could just go and find him if you tell me the location. And she's like, no, we got security on it. It's not for you. Your whole image is truth and justice. And then she brings up the fact that the Deep went and told her.
That he knocked down that senator's plane, the mayor's plane, rather.
Not entirely though.
Just that it was
Two
melted.
laser pointed
Eyeball
rips
shapes,
that were
yeah.
like shapes of eyeball, like the size of eyeballs. That's weird, isn't it? And then we get this pretty hilarious scene, honestly, of Homelander meeting the Deep, and the Deep like walks in and it's just Homelander, and he's like, "Oh, I thought we were having a meeting. I'll come back later." He's like, "No, we are having a meeting, Deep. Sit down." And like the Deep just sits down and he like grabs the Deep's shoulder.
So thinking of the whole laser eye thing, I wonder like what the aftermath of using a laser eye thing. Are you gonna have like really fucking bad red eye and like irritated fucking eyes after that? I feel like you would.
I know one thing though. You're never gonna have cataract.
Burn through the fuckers. Yeah, no, but for real, I feel like that's gonna be an unpleasant experience.
Like a dry eye, like a
Yeah,
really
like
dry eye.
I know they're superheroes, they're superpowered bodies, but like you get a piece of sand in your eye, that's gonna be fucking annoying all day.
Yeah,
What
could you
happens when
imagine?
Homelander gets sand in his eyes? Does he suddenly have
He turns into freaking Cyclops with no glasses.
like he just suddenly has glass floating in his eyes?
That's what I was thinking.
Glass. Oh my god.
That brings a whole new meaning to glassy eye.
Yeah. If he smoked weed, would that affect his like eye powers?
No, I don't think so because
Yeah.
it's just directly from his like pupil or something.
Yeah.
It's not like like
I want
Cyclops
to
from
get
the
every
X-Men.
superhero in every comic book high and see how that affects their powers. Like on different drugs, like get one high on weed, acid, LSD.
I think the
coke,
only one
meth.
it wouldn't affect is like the only characters that probably wouldn't affect. Superman wouldn't be affected because his immune system would
Yeah.
destroy it before. It hits him.
Wolverine, because that regeneration might affect.
Yep. Deadpool,
Deadpool.
Deathstroke,
Captain America.
Captain America. No, it would affect Captain.
He can't get drunk because his metabolism burns it too quickly in that. Right?
Yeah, but that doesn't like take
doesn't
into account
affect-
like cocaine or something.
Yeah. You could
Yeah,
just-
like Wolverine and Deadpool can't do cocaine because like they can do it, but it will be like 2 seconds of enjoyment before
Here's
their
some-
immune system
yeah.
repairs all the.
Here's something to think about. Wolverine can never be circumcised.
That's funny as
Honestly.
shit to me.
Honestly, that's probably a good thing, all things considered. Because, like, he's really tight. Even
What if
Hugh
he just gets
Jackman.
like hold up, but like off topic, just so we can get back to the boys. But what if Wolverine got bored one day, didn't like his dick, or chopped it off? A new one would grow back. So like, would it be the same size genetically, or would it be bigger
I wonder,
or small?
like, if you could somehow, like, work out a way to make his dick bigger by like, cutting little pieces off and regenerating. And, like, you know how, like, that thing they make people tall by, like, breaking their legs and, like,
Yeah.
stretching out the bone? I wonder if he could do that with his dick.
He's just swinging a massive Wolverine dick. He's like 4 feet tall and hairy, and he's got like a dick just swinging like
This
an
is
elephant
way better
trunk.
than the boys. You should just talk about this. This is way more
What I was
fun.
going to say before was, I know that Martian Manhunter is addicted to a certain chocolate cream-filled cookie.
Yeah.
So those are kind of like cocaine to him.
Imagine like superheroes like on acid. Like that'd be great. Like they just be like.
Maybe we can
hallucinating.
open up a comic book discussion in the book club next time.
Okay.
Next time we have the podcast.
Yeah.
Talk about the boys now. Now we have
So we are brought back to Starlight, and she's given her first mission, and the crime analytics crew is like, oh, we already did all the math and everything for you. Like, we know when the crime's going to take place. We know where it's going to take place.
that
yeah.
makes me get the theory that like
Vaughn is causing the
yeah
crimes.
Vaughn is like staging all this shit.
Yeah, because they have a camera crew there.
Yeah.
They were
A
watching
full-on camera crew.
Mm. I mean, you could argue, oh, they just brought the camera crew with the soups, but still, that is it. Does you get the impression like they're staging something, they're
Like-
doing something.
Yeah, because
with
she's
the
like,
camera.
now stand on that villain and be like, it's lit.
Yeah, it's lit. I love that. That was great.
So dumb.
It's lit.
And then
Like,
we see Starlight try and deal with it. Like, it's
she-
just kind of depressing to
They,
her.
they paired her up with the Deep after he left.
Oh, yeah! So we didn't even talk about that. She got paired up with the Deep. That, after last episode, was like, we were all sitting here waiting for something to
Very
happen.
just-
And it did. It fucking did in a big way. She straight up looks at him in the eyes and is like, you have no fucking right to complain to me at all because of what you did. Also, I did some like talking around. You're not even number 2 in this place. You're just the fish guy. Like, damn. And then he's like, I'm gonna tell them you're a psycho. I'll go to Homelander. She's like, no, you won't. Like,
Because you a bitch.
it's like, you are nothing but the
and
fish
this is
guy.
after his chat with Homelander.
Yeah, and this is
Where
after his...
Homelander was like, "Oh, good, glad we had this discussion."
Oh, yeah, and he had his
Hand
hand
on
on
his
his freaking
throat, yeah.
throat, and he has his thumb right on his Adam's apple.
Windpipe, yeah.
His
Ready-
windpipe, Adam's apple, whatever.
ready
Same
to
shit.
just
Like, snap him if he says anything again. Yeah, and Deep was like a giant bitch. Like, he's just like, oh, yeah, Homelander.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't see,
I'm
I didn't
sorry,
see
bro.
anything.
I'm sorry, bro.
But,
Cool.
yeah, she activates her powers, and I thought you were going to love that scene. It was all dark and spooky.
Yeah, that was cool.
And, like, the lights were just the only light in the harbor. And yet, her eyes dominate.
Yeah.
Like, that scene, it's so
She has
bright.
like glowing light up eyes when she uses her power.
I also love that it's around the center of the eye, not
Not
the
in
very
her.
center.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way, yeah.
Yeah, it looks way cooler to have like the iris
Yeah.
and the pupil.
Yeah, I bet how they did that effect too is that they actually just used Adobe After Effects and made her like they double layered
Yeah.
the footage and
Probably,
glowed one layer and then just because it's already mapped to her
Yeah.
iris, just did that. Like that's an easy thing.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So like here's my thing. These effects are super good and we were talking about the CGI and stuff in this and like
Didn't work.
I watched scenes from the Justice League movie, and they don't even look half as good as this.
With like a quintillion-dollar budget.
Yeah, and this looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Even like the lows, like we were laughing at like, oh yeah, we know how the translucence power works on like off camera.
Yeah.
It's just a Zentai suit that's green,
green
and then they
screen.
just double layer the footage and take him out of the image.
Yeah.
That's all they do. But still, the effect that they used is so good and
It's
well
like simple
done.
and effective.
And that seems to be the theory behind the show, because all of the... Can we talk about that close-up of Homelander's outfit?
Yeah.
The pieces on the eagles on his shoulders,
His eagle
the
shoulder.
little thing around his neck, the collar piece around his neck, and the fabric.
I thought it looked like an Art Deco building. Like I noticed.
Yeah, the little designs in it. Yeah,
his epaulette thing.
Oh,
his
yeah.
shoulder blades. They were almost like the things that the moldings on the Empire State Building I actually thought.
yeah,
of.
the eagle.
Head.
Yeah, I forget what they're called though. They're like the little spikes that shoot out.
moldings, right?
Are they called molding? I thought they had a special name. I
You
don't.
mean like a grotesque?
Yes.
Yes, that's what it
The
is.
little grotesques. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really cool, but they're not like protruding like what we would imagine a comic book character has, like
Also,
overly
For
sized
those who
one.
don't know anything about it, whenever you hear somebody talk about a gargoyle, it's actually called a grotesque in architecture stuff. So, yeah.
Thanks, Captain Architecture.
Man, that would be a shitty superhero. That's not a gargoyle, citizen. That's a grotesque. Shut up, architect man. Just like
Jesus
a little
Christ.
kid who kicks him in the fucking knees. He's just
Oh.
like, shut up. Oh.
Shut
He has to-
up!
he
The
has to,
building
like-
is burning down.
He has to like walk home because he has no superpower.
Except knowing about architecture.
He's just really good at being an architecture professor, and that's it.
He doesn't even design good buildings. He's just teaching it.
He designs Art Deco buildings, and that's the extent of his knowledge.
Yeah.
They only do Art Deco.
Which is like not a popular style. Like,
It's exactly my
he has
point.
no career.
Aw.
Anyway,
We
try.
have just created a new superhero. Let's move on.
Or villain.
He becomes corrupted and by his like rejection, like the Joker, and becomes like the evil architecture man who blows up buildings
He's
or
the
something.
Dark Lord Baroque.
So, any which way, we see, where we go? We go from Starlight and the Deep and their conversation, and she's just like, you will never do anything to me again, and then they end that, and, well, they don't end that, they go into the fake, I'm assuming it has to be fake, right?
Yeah, that's
Fake fight scene between these guards, and they have drugs inside the Homelander heads,
Dolls,
like...
yeah.
that's a little bit more
But
product placement.
But here's the thing, though. Like, why in all of this world, like this imaginary world of the boys, why the hell would drug dealers use Vaunt toys to transport drugs under Vaunt's nose? Because Vaunt is the one who controls all the superheroes.
Yeah.
Why the hell would they do that?
Yeah,
This
and
is stupid.
Now
It's totally
they
set
have
up.
ways of tracking it, yeah.
Yeah, this is dumb.
Yeah.
This is dumb. This is
They
real
know
dumb.
Track their
the
own fucking
numbers.
packages.
Yeah.
they know all the numbers.
There was a cool part I thought in the middle. We're gonna talk about it. A-Train has to meet a cancer kid, a Make-A-Wish kid. That
He wanted to meet
the
Translucent. Yeah.
cancer kid wanted to meet Translucent, and
He even had a Translucent shirt on.
yeah, he had a Translucent shirt on, and A-Train gives him like action figures, and the action figures are just A-Train. I don't even understand why he didn't give him an action figure of
Translucent.
in Translucent. Here's the thing though, would Translucent's action figures be those like have you ever seen the action figure
The
of
clear
like
ones?
the clear like
Yes.
would Translucent's be that?
No,
I-
it would just be a shape. of
Because he
a
would be
rock.
naked.
I think
I like to imagine that the action figures are like a double set, like one
Yeah.
with him and like one with the clear.
what I was thinking was the clear one should have the actual
It's just
like
an empty
outfit.
package. Have you ever seen that Hot Wheels?
Mine just said something funny. He said, "He just opened it, it'd be nothing inside the box."
That's what I just said. yeah.
yeah.
Well, actually, that's what I was just gonna say. In the '90s, Hot Wheels got in trouble because they sold Wonder Woman's invisible jet, and there was nothing in the package.
Oh, that's great.
It was just
That's
an
great.
empty box with nothing in it. Those invisible
To be
jet.
fair, you know,
To be fair, it should at least just be like a see-through
can we get a
toy.
cockpit of just like Wonder Woman sitting there
Yeah,
she
yeah.
can sit in? Like,
So moving on.
I saw an
that
action figure of the Monolith from 2001. It was literally just a little black
That-
piece of plastic.
that scene with A-Train was freaking hilarious
Yeah.
because he's like, oh, I'm
And
cool.
they had it set up to look like a stream. They had like the videos.
Yeah,
on
that was
Tuesday.
really cool. Like
And they had the Facebook
a
react.
Facebook reaction.
And as the
thing.
kid was saying, I just want to see translucent, and he's like trying to talk him off it. They're like sad reacts and angry reacts going
Yeah.
through the thing.
And then he's just like, oh man, come on, I'm like the fastest guy in the world. I'm A-Train, man. And like, yeah, I mean, I could teach you a few things. And he's like, can you teach me to outrun cancer?
Yeah.
Like, oh, damn.
he just had nothing. He was just like, oh.
At that moment, he
That
knew
was not-
He fucked up.
I want to know whose bright idea it was to throw A-Train at this.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, like,
It could be
didn't
anyone else.
the rep lady got in trouble for it?
Yeah,
by,
she's like, A-Train needs a script.
like, never send A-Train into an interview without a script. He needs a script because he's terrible. This is what happens.
Yeah.
It's cringy, it's bad, it looks bad for us. And then what was real cool is right after that, or maybe before that, there was like a TV flicker, like we were watching channels from the boys' universe, like the news was on, and then it
Yeah.
flicked to a commercial of like a little kid going to sleep with the Homelander plushie.
Yeah. That when she was watching TV,
Yeah, that was a great transition
Yeah.
of like switching the TV, and we're actually watching the TV from inside the universe. That's awesome. I very rarely see that done in movies because they always seem to just be like one channel.
Yeah.
One TV show or one move or not a movie but like one news network, and it's always on that news network, and then they shut the TV off. She flicks through the channels, and we
Yeah.
actually see like the static.
That was kind of cool.
You know
world
what?
building.
You know what would be
Yeah.
great?
Yeah.
You know what would be great if they made a sort of like Justice League TV show style thing of the boy of the Seven.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do. They have them. They
Like a
remember they use
cartoon.
comic books and cartoons to manipulate the public.
Yeah.
Bont uses them.
I mean, as
I
in,
hope
like,
we get to
show-
see it.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean.
I hope we
wanna
get to see it.
See that.
So moving on from the cancer boy, we get to the part where Starlight, Anna, her name is Anna, right? They said
Yeah,
it
it's
twice
Anna.
in this
Yes.
episode. Her name is Anna. She stops a girl from being raped, but someone is recording it, and she's not wearing her costume.
Yeah.
And she gets in massive trouble for it.
Mhm.
Like, she's yelled at and told, oh, be in her office by 10 o'clock. Like,
Yeah.
Deep shit.
like you fucked up. This is a fuck up. This is your fault, Starlight.
Mhm.
Like, now you have to go see, like, what?
Legal team.
Legal
and all
team
this
and,
shit.
something damages.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
you have to go see all of these things. And this is all your fault. Like, she stopped a girl from being raped, and she's just like, oh, well, the only footage we have is two boys getting beat up by you, and she's not there because the girl ran away.
Yeah.
So
No, like
now,
she asked.
That was not lit.
but that I thought they had a really cool like subject matter that they talked about there. It didn't last very long, but she's like, aren't I innocent until proven guilty? She's like, not when you're famous. Turn that around.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that's a great way.
Like the whole cancel culture. and
Yeah,
that
the
sort
whole
of thing,
cancel
yeah.
culture, the whole like accusatory culture that
Mhm.
has like grown around certain celebrities. And now I'm not saying like Me Too movement is fake and stuff because
No,
a
yeah.
lot of those stories are 100% genuine. But
But it's like the public crucifying of
yeah,
people before-
it's like
yeah.
it's like public
It's
crucifixion
the
of
Salem
people.
witch trials.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. That was a little more of like communities just deciding they don't like someone and burning them at the stake.
Yeah.
Like quite literally. This is just like, oh, this person did something to me, but then they present evidence that like they were never there, and people are like, well, they're still lying.
Yeah.
Like the public instantly agree. Like, I'm not saying don't believe victims because that's stupid as shit.
No, but I
mean,
say
like,
look
have a
at
skeptical mind and be open minded to all the events. Like,
Yeah.
like
You know,
every
so that way Starlight doesn't end up getting
Yeah.
dragged through the coals by a couple of drunkards.
just by fucking circumstance that she stopped a crime and got in trouble for it. Like, whatever. Any which way. I thought that was really a really cool insight. Like, they really did bring something up. They didn't talk about it. I think I know why. Like, it's a very touchy subject, but that was right. That was right of her to be like,
Yeah.
when you're famous, like, you don't have a choice. You're
Yeah.
guilty until proven innocent. Like, you don't have an option in this like case.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Not nice, obviously, but it was a
Yeah.
nice touch to the world.
Yeah.
And
Speaking
the
of
situation
the world.
Starlight's in. Speaking of the world, what?
somebody wanted to take a quick look around the general world to try and find his buddy.
Yeah, so we're brought to Homelander, and he is in the, crime division area.
Yeah.
And he talks to one of the girls that the lady talked to earlier, the head of Vaughn, and she's like, oh no, Homelander, the security team is on it. They'll find him. And he's just like, I'm Homelander. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Now, show me where he is. And then, in the next scene, we're brought back to Translucent, and he's talking to Huey, and Huey's just like, come on, man, what was A-Train doing? I know you guys were close, and we found out something about A-Train and Translucent. They grew up together.
Yeah.
He said that. He's like,
no,
I
they
know,
came up at the same time.
They came up at the same time. That's what it was. Sorry,
No, it's fine.
He's like, oh, you guys came up at the same time. I know you're really close to each other. You gotta tell me what's going on. Yeah, Translucent's I'm not telling you shit. And he tells him that his real superpower is reading people.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, he has to be really good at, because if he's invisible and he's a fly on the wall type quote,
yeah,
of course he's going to get really good at reading people, and they know they're alone. He's going to learn how to read emotions a lot. And it was really cool to see that.
Yeah.
Huey gives him a glass of water, and he drinks it. Not really that important until later, but... Yeah, they we see Frenchie come out of the door later, holding a friggin' giant ass industrial power drill, and he's just like, God damn, diamond skin! He just fucking throws the broken ass drill on the table.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really cool, and they came up with a bullet to shoot him with, this big 50 caliber round, and they shoot him, and it just bounces off of his skin. And hits and tears a hole in the roof, so now they know where the coordinate,
that's where they get the ping.
On their monitors. So Homelander is zipping around now. We're just gonna skip over the middle part because it's not really.
What about the?
We're getting to that.
Okay.
And Homelander's just zipping around the sky, and Frenchie sees him through the window, and he's like, Billy, look, we need to do something. This is bad. Homelander's here, so...
greasy smear
what?
on the wall bag.
Didn't we also meet a girl?
We talk about the side stories after. We'll talk about the senator, and we'll talk about the Billy meeting the girl from the CIA after. Those are the side stories, so what we do is we talk about the main stuff, and then once we get to the end, we actually talk about all the little side stuff, and then we end it. So any which way. Homelander's flying around, then... Billy looks over at him and just says Chicago. Right? It's
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, you're right,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. And he's like, oh, not again. And Frenchie's just like, you know how much money this is going to fucking cost me? Fine, whatever. They both just leave. Now, right before that, Frenchie was watching the TV, and he's watching a documentary, I guess, on turtles.
Yeah.
Something, like a nature channel or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And he's watching the turtles, and he's like, oh, I got it. And he picks up the cattle prod, and he walks into the freezer where they're holding him in the cage, and he's like, what do you want? And honestly, I lost my shit laughing because they just shock the shit out
He
of him.
runs in there and they ask him what he's doing, and he's like, I need him unconscious.
Yeah, I need him unconscious. I have an idea. And the next scene we see Translucent waking up, and he's like, what's wrong? What did you do to me? And Frenchie bends down and says... so I couldn't figure out how to get through your skin. It's hard as diamonds, so we couldn't put it down your throat because you just throw it back up and get all mixed up in your stomach acid. That wouldn't be good. So obviously we couldn't put it in your throat. But...
They put a bomb up his ass.
And he calls it an ass bomb. Frenchie calls it they put plastique up his ass.
C4 up his ass.
They put plastique up his ass, and, he just whimpers.
Yeah.
He...
somebody who has indestructible skin and can turn invisible suddenly can die at a push of a button.
And Billy's holding that button, and we all know how unstable that bitch is.
He knows how unstable this guy is. He is somebody who spat his own blood, in this guy's face so he could see him,
Yep.
so he could punch him in the face.
He also spat on his hand when they were in the middle of that fight so he could see his fists.
Yeah.
That was a really good thing. So he's like, okay, I know where A-Train was going. Like, he was going to see his girlfriend Pop Claw, which, totally, she's just female Wolverine. That's what they're saying, right? Like, she has spikes on her arms or forearms or something like that.
Shitty D-list Wolverine.
Yeah, a shitty D-list Wolverine. And she would be the one who knows where he was going, because he's always around her. He's probably with her right now, he says, you know. And Translucent just starts spilling this shit, and Huey walks out of the room. And that's the part where Frenchie actually sees that Homelander's nearby.
Yeah.
So, getting back to the Homelander part, Homelander lands. Billy Butcher's in the back of the van.
They run out to the van.
Frenchie calls his girlfriend, I am assuming. She has a really cool Target tattoo, and I'm pretty sure she, like, that means something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, she painted herself a Target. She had very weird eyes.
Yeah, it was weird.
Very weird eyes. So,
Like, like,
and
glowing,
since
it was like-
the boys has a lot to do with the eyes, like Starlight's power, Homelander's power.
She's soup? No, she can't be.
She has to be, or
Yeah, she has to
something.
be.
Either that or contacts or something. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. Any which
She might
way.
have tech contacts. or
He
something.
calls her and he tells her, like, Pittsburgh, do it now. And she's like, really? Fine, give me 3 seconds. She hooks all the plastique up to, like, these giant oil drums and runs out. Homelander lands, talks to Frenchie. Frenchie's just like, oh, I'm opening up a restaurant here.
Brazilian steak.
A Brazilian steakhouse, yeah. And he's just like, oh, okay. And he's like, can I check the back of the van? And he's like, no offense. Do you have, like, a warrant or something? And he's like, well, if you don't have anything to hide, then why would you be scared? He's like, oh, okay. And he just smiles. And he's scanning the back of the truck using his X-ray vision. And he sees nothing. Because Billy's already behind a dumpster down the alley, and he inputs a command to the computer, and it explodes Frenchie's head base, whatever.
Yeah.
And Homelander just takes off. Then we're given. I'm gonna get to the last scene. We're gonna cover the micro stories in here. So Susan or whatever her name is from Vaughn. The first scene we see her and she's breastfeeding, like she's pumping breast milk, and she's not getting a lot. I guess because, like, Homelander brings it up too, like her age. She's kind of older for a woman to give birth, so it might be affecting the milk process. Any which way, we get this really weird, uncomfortable scene. Like, it's really uncomfortable, right? Like her and Homelander sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
It's just a really uncomfortably long scene.
It honestly makes me think that he's kind of like a corrupted Lois Lane-like figure, and they've probably known each other for a lot longer. Like, he is way older than the rest of the team.
Yeah. Any which way, though, she has this weird conversation with him, really touching his face and stuff, and you can see, like, I called it. He's gonna kill her at some point. He's going to lose his mind and kill this woman. And then later we find out he's just standing in the hall when Starlight gets back, and Starlight's like, hi, like... Oh yeah, there was a really funny scene earlier we're going to bring up. Before we talk about the Homelander being a creep, she meets Black Noir, and Black Noir, honestly, in this episode, I legit love him. Like, the first scene we see him, Starlight meets him, and she's like, hi, Black Noir, we haven't met before.
I'm excited to work with you. He's just sitting there, blank face, like, not
He
responding.
doesn't even respond. He just looks right through her like she's paper and then just walks away.
He's my favorite character.
He's such my favorite character right now. And then, later on, he's, like, drinking a thing at an event that Vaughn's holding, and he's drinking a thing through a straw, which, by the way, did you guys notice he didn't take off his mask?
Yeah,
He was, like, drinking through it.
Yeah.
And
I want to say that there's probably, like,
a little hole in one of them, yeah. But then, after that, he reaches over to grab an hors d'oeuvre, and the lady just walks by, and he's just like,
No words.
No words. He's just, it's probably up on screen right now. It was a really funny scene. Anyway, moving back to Homelander being a creep. Yeah, he's just creeping on lady while she's getting
and then she
milk.
says something like, that child will drink my breast milk or something. It was the last
Yeah, like she's really determined to get her child to drink her breast milk.
And that's gonna have some kind of significance. You could tell.
Yeah, it's got
'Cause
to.
You could tell like that bothered Homelander.
Homelander very much. Yeah. It just seems really weird. Their relationship is really weird.
I can't help but think that because he's got this X-ray vision, maybe he somehow knows there's a complication and won't say it.
Maybe he gave her breast cancer or something weird with his vision. Because remember, that's always been
staring at her.
Remember that was always a theory with Superman. Like him staring at people like through walls could give people cancer. What if that's true?
It's gamma rays.
Yeah. But any which way,
Whatever
moving
it is.
on from there, that was a weird, creepy scene. But Homelander's kind of creepy anyway.
Everybody thinks he's looking at his painting.
Yeah, he mentions to Starlight, like, oh, I took it, like, we did it a long time ago when we first started the Seven, the picture. And she's just like, oh, okay, that I guess you just want to stare at yourself for, like, hours, whatever. And then that's the point where Starlight gets yelled at by the PR rep lady.
Yeah.
But moving back a little more, we talked about the Vaunt party. She's trying to get the government to buy soups in the military.
Yeah, she's trying to get soups involved in the military.
Which, yeah, I mean, that's obviously where this was heading. She was selling them like freaking cell phone plans in the last one. And then now she's literally, is it extraditing? Is that what you call it?
It's selling people to other countries for trial.
Oh, okay.
It's like outsourcing the military.
Yeah, outsourcing. Yeah, thank you. What's extraditing? I don't know what's going on with me. She's trying to outsource soups to the military, and the guy's just like, they're never gonna buy them. You honestly think you're the only one with like superheroes? Like, she's like, mine stand for truth and justice. He's like, I don't care. Like, this guy has Fort Grog or whatever, like another
Boeing and all this shit.
Yeah, like they have all of these other supers that already are loyal to these certain people, these government people. So why the hell would they buy from her? It's never going to pass in Congress. She's never going to get the bill on the floor. And she's like, okay, fine. And then she looks at the bartender, tells the bartender to give him like a really good whiskey.
Yeah.
Also, fuck that guy. I don't care what happens to him. He said that whiskey is whiskey, and he's totally fucking wrong. Now, I have a problem with this. I'm going to go on a small rant. All whiskey is not just fucking whiskey. Mm-hmm. Specific whiskeys have different smells, different acidities to them, different barrels that they're like held in have different smoke textures to them to create a special flavor for each one. So you, if you're a dumb person who's just like, oh no, all whiskey or alcohol is like, no, that's not how it works. You don't compare Smirnoff to like what the hell is the
hard lemonade?
First of all, Smirnoff is vodka.
Smirnoff is vodka, but it's sugar vodka.
Yeah,
it's not like it's shit vodka compared to like actual vodka. That's what I'm saying. You can't compare. You can't just say, "Oh, Smirnoff is just vodka." It's just vodka. No, it's not. It's a sugar vodka. Like it's a very sugary vodka.
You're bringing this up with the cosmonaut.
Yeah, exactly my point. But that's why I was comparing it. Like
I wouldn't compare. And then you have like Grey Goose, which is from France. People think it's fucking great, but it's disgusting.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is that like I'm in agreement. Yeah, sure, it's still whiskey, but it's like not every whiskey is just a whiskey. Okay, off of the.
But he was a Marine, and that's his persona.
I don't give a crap. That's wrong. It's just wrong. It's flat out wrong.
Yeah.
Any which way. Moving on. Sorry, I had to do that. Like that just upset me. Like I flat out in the middle of the show called that out. I'm like, fuck this guy. I don't care if he dies. Like screw this. He just called whiskey. Screw you. It's an American freaking drink, and you don't fuck with it.
Irish, I thought.
Give or take, depending.
Half
American whiskey.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Move on.
So he's talking to the bartender, and then they get a room together at a hotel, and they get naked. She ties him to the bed, and then she covers his face. Yeah, blindfolds him, and then
she turns into
a fat guy. And he's like, ooh, that feels different. Like,
there's a fat guy's stomach.
Yeah, like, can we talk about the transformation though that they used?
That was really.
That was really cool. How like his body morphs.
It's like bulging and flowing outward.
Yeah, you could hear his bones cracking. Like you could see the bones forming, and then the fat folds over the bones. Like that was really
fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah,
it was a really cool scene. We can't show it because it is full on tits, so we can't actually show that part.
YouTube hates tits because they're gay.
Yeah, I don't get it. But
it
doesn't matter. We're not trying to get monetized. We're starting our own company. That's the point here.
Yeah.
Any which way. So yeah.
So I can call YouTube gay.
I mean, you can, but it's
YouTube
not
is
going to
gay.
help
YouTube
us.
is gay.
It's not going to help you in the future. Any which way.
That's lost channel instantly demonetized. What the fuck?
We I think we agree again. Go watch it. Go watch
Yeah,
it. If you
good
haven't
show.
watched it already, go watch The Boys. Even though Sony Pictures was like, "Oh, no, copyright." Fuck off, Sony. Like, it's a good show. We're even.
Who's Sony?
we're-
I thought Amazon and Sony are top. What?
it's because Sony helped pay for it for some reason. Like,
I
they're
know.
now. Why do you think that product placement is everywhere?
True.
There's Sony TVs in like every shot.
Mm,
Yeah, of course they help pay for it.
yeah.
But any which way, I still say go watch it. I still think it's awesome. We didn't talk about everything because obviously we want to leave something there.
Go
but,
watch it. It's good.
But you should.
What about the end scene?
We are going to talk about that. That's the last thing I'm going to talk about. But I was going to say this. If you're this far in, we're about to spoil the end of the show. The end of episode 2. So, a reminder. We're going to have to put this at the beginning of the episode every time. A reminder. Watch the episode before watching our videos. These are always going to be filled with spoilers. If we're talking about a movie, we're not going to censor or spoiler free
spoiler-free or
it.
anything,
We're
yeah.
going to spoil the whole thing. We want you to see. Obviously, if we don't want you to see it, that'll be the first things out of our mouth. But like, don't see this. It's garbage. Like, we will tell you not to see
Yeah.
it. So if you want to, the opening scene of our AV clubs are always going to be safe, spoiler free or not so spoilery. But I think we need to start doing that. Every AV club will be like, hey, like, go watch it.
You should
Watch it now before we spoil everything.
You should have a clip saying, like a small thing that says.
Speak
watch
up.
it. Well, all I'm saying is that.
Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. We're going to talk about the end scene. The ass bomb.
Kasplorch.
So, Translucent gets free by peeing into the cup
And throwing it on the wires.
and throwing it on the wire and messing up the
Shorting the
cage.
batteries.
Yeah. So he gets out and opens up the door, and Huey's right there, and he's holding the trigger. And he's just like, don't do it. Like, get back in the cage.
Sorry.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Keep your cough
We'll get you
up
some
and
water in a
everything.
second.
I'm good.
And we see Translucent, like, come out of being invisible, and he's just like, oh, whoa, like, come on, you know you don't want to do this. Like, he gives him this spiel of, like, you'll be a hero, you're the guy who set Translucent free, imagine how many people will love you. And, he's just, like, he lets down his guard for, like, a minute, I say, and Translucent walks past him, turns invisible, smirks a little like he's gonna get away, and then Huey keeps looking over at this little baby poster with the
your hands
spaghetti
clean.
all over his head. It's like, keep your hands clean, and he's like, anxiety attack, and he presses the button, and he just
Pops.
he pops, and it just funnels down the hallway, the blood, and just hits Huey, and he's just coated. But honestly, here's one last thing I wanted to talk about other than the Kasplorch part. They have a really good depiction of an anxiety attack. So the first episode had like a panic attack, like a PTSD panic attack, where he couldn't breathe, everything stops, all he hears is the ringing from seeing all the pictures of A-Train. But this was an anxiety attack. He just punched the wall and started bleeding.
Yeah.
Then he punched it again. Then he just kept punching the wall because he was,
Leaving like blood splatter.
yeah, he was just like having a huge anxiety attack.
Yeah.
And it's funny because later Frenchie offers him LSD and MMDA in a pill form, and he's just like, MMD or MMDA,
Club
whatever,
drug.
whatever. And he's just like, nah, I don't think now is the time to do hallucinogens.
I think he just whatever, and just puts it in his own mouth.
Yeah, he calls him a pussy, I think, in French. I'm not
I don't know.
100%.
Some sort of insult.
And then he just pops it in his mouth. Honestly, I like
No, he
Frenchie.
said- I know the last word of it was plaisir, which is pleasure. So I think he says something like whatever you please or whatever.
Yeah,
I think,
something like that. Your pleasure, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some himself kind of line.
Yeah. So he honestly, I want to say, I want more Frenchie. I want more Frenchie. I want more Frenchie.
Mm.
He,
Last time any of us will ever say I want more of someone French.
yeah, probably.
But I like baguettes.
That's the only baguettes, croissant. And then you're just like, and the little French hats they wear.
Brace.
I like those. I was obviously
Yeah, I know.
like saying it so like, oh, I don't know the name of it, but I like them. French art. But
Is it a
yeah,
beret?
it is a beret. I was making a joke of like, oh, I
You're
like it, but I
both
don't know
too
what it is.
fucking Spurgy to get the jokes. We just
Yeah.
correct him
Sorry.
about the. No, it's fine.
The joke was that you don't know what it is at the like, yeah.
Uh,
Any which way, great episode. Go watch it. We'll be back to talk about episode 3. The next episode actually will be a special episode. I think it's going to be about Joker. Kaz and I have already seen it. Cricket,
That
you're
we
the only
have.
one who haven't.
And go see that. It's good.
I
That's
really
what
want
I'm going
I
to
just
say is
haven't
go
yet.
see it, yeah.
We all four of us
so-
have to watch it one day.
We already saw it.
Will you guys watch it again?
But there is a movie coming out today.
Today. What's going on today?
Adam's Family.
Oh, yeah!
okay.
It's by the time this recording goes up, it'll be Tuesday. But Adam's Family actually came out the day we're recording this.
Da-da-da-da.
So I'm honestly
Isn't it
interested.
animated or something, too?
Yeah, it is animated. They're using the original art style from the comics too.
Oh, okay.
It was really interesting. All right, we'll see you guys next time. I have been your host, Fearless Hobo.
And I'm Cosmonaut, a guy in space.
I'm Cricket, and you are.
Minor KC.
Yay!
I remember the KC!
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.